This is Mr. Maloney, and I'm going to be reading the story, The Wild Swans. There once lived a king who had 11 sons and 1 daughter. He married a wicked queen who turned the princes into 11 wild swans. The king asked the queen if she knew where the princes were. She shook her head. At sunset, the swans flew to their sister Eliza. Their feathers fell off, and the 11 princes stood before her. At dawn, they said they would become swans again. One foggy night, Eliza dreamed that a fairy came to her. The fairy said to take nettles and make them into 11 shirts. The shirts would break the spell. She also told Eliza not to speak before the task was done. If she did, her brothers would die. Eliza woke and went to the forest. She picked many nettles, which burned her hands. With the nettles, she made yarn. Then she made the yarn into shirts. The brothers flew to her each sunset. Each dawn, they became wild swans again and flew away. One morning, the queen saw them leaving Eliza's window and grew worried. The next dawn, the queen threw a net over the swans. She put them in a cold cell under the castle. Then the queen said there would be a feast, roast bird for everyone. Only Eliza knew that the birds would be her brothers. She could not speak. She worked instead. The morning of the feast, the queen came for the swans. Eliza threw the 11 shirts over the swans, and they turned into 11 princes. The youngest brother's shirt was not quite done, though. He was left with a swan's wing instead of an arm. The king sent out guards to arrest the queen. They found a vulture on her throne, but the queen was never seen again. The 11 sons and princes lived with the king happily ever after.